AD, how can AD rap around with expired tags?
Oh, yeah, the expired tags.
Oh my goodness.
Give me some of that.
Okay. Man. Alright, so AD is recording. Alright, so AD stories. Here's some.
He was kind of a quiet kid. He was always interested in music. I raised him from a baby.
My early childhood years, I grew up on the South Side, South City. My grandmother took me in, and she raised me. And being around her, I listened to a lot of old 70s and even 80s music.
In elementary school, he sang in the choir, and he also was in the band in middle school.
That's kind of where I started. My whole music quest was in middle school. Around that time, I listened to rap music as well and a lot of R&B. And I used to do a lot of freestyle battles at school during lunch and stuff like that. And at first, I wanted to be a rapper, right?
He did a little rapping, and he would, make tapes of rapping.
I actually started my own little studio in my bedroom. It wasn't much. I had a karaoke machine and I had a Casio keyboard. That's all I had, but that's kind of what birthed me really wanting to do music and just kind of get into this whole thing.
At least 2001, I met AD. His rapping name was Phenom, and so he was rapping fast, but it was those type of stories where you just rapping off the dome. He was decent as a rapper. Actually, he was decent, but at the same time, I thought he had other talents too.
I rapped for him or whatever, and he was just like, nah, you don't really got it like that. And so for me, I didn't care if I rapped or what I did. I just wanted to be in something music.
I didn't say like hell no or nothing like that. I probably like, okay, yeah. I know I wasn't blown away.
He had a studio, and so he allowed me to come there and mess around with that, and that's kind of where my whole journey with the engineering and behind the scenes kind of began.
I actually ended up talking to him about the other side of the game rather than being on the front end as the rapper. Plus, I could use some help around, so he was interested. I don't think he was afraid to move into something different. I think he always showed passion. He actually knew a lot of old songs for a young guy.
After school, he would go there to his friend's house, had a little studio in the basement. If he was out late at night, he was always at the studio trying to make music.
Honestly, from day one when I met him, it was like he might have been here every day. No lie, he was that type of young fella. He would be here every day. He was about that. By the time he was a senior in high school, probably at least 17, 18, that he's already knowing that he's not just doing it to be a cog in the wheel. He wanted to do it to be something for himself, that provide for himself, to separate him and to be able to hold his own. Back then, you knew that he was going to do something. We always going to do something. You know what I mean? We always knew success was in the air.
AD meant he wanted to be a part of the music industry, music production, engineering. Like, he already knew that. Walked that way, dressed that way.
I graduated in May. I was at Full Sail in August, you know what I'm saying? EG is the one who even told me about Full Sail. I didn't even know what that was until EG told me about it.
We went down to Full Sail together. I was right with him. The advertisement looked good, but let's see what they really got over here. So we went down there together. Even though for a pretty penny, sometimes you put it in the right place, it's gonna come back way more. Your stock value, your personal stock value goes up.
Because I had learned a lot of stuff I was doing with EG, when I got to Full Sail, it really helped me out a lot just because I was already doing it. And it was a great experience, man.
He goes straight from Full Sail up to Atlanta, and he's in the mix. He done built up a reputation. He got credits.
In total, I was at Patrick about 4 years. I interned literally for like 2 years. So I worked free for basically 2 years.
I remember him just calling me. I was in Target. He was like, yo, what you been up to? What you been up to? You still doing music? I'm like, yeah, I actually moved to Atlanta. And he was like, yo, I'm in Atlanta too. I'm like, yo, let's get up. At the time, Patchwork required him to be there literally about 20 hours a day. That's no joke. So him working internship, you're not paid, he was like, listen, I'm gonna lose my apartment. All I'm asking for is a couch. come on, it's yours. That's an automatic yes. I would barely see him. He would come home, maybe sleep for like a half an hour, and get back to work.
Well, there was some moments when things wasn't going that well. Kind of make me kind of fear a little bit. No matter what, he always stuck with it.
Those times of toughness did occur, and they do occur. But he's been able to work through those things. You know, it did not kill his determination. By the time he went to Atlanta, he had Goldie sound in his mind.
Honestly, I believe my grandmother saved my life, right? And when I say that, it's because, again, I didn't have my mother or my father in my life, and I could have ended up anywhere. I don't think any of what I'm doing today would be possible without her being there in my life. And so it was a way of me wanting to, acknowledge her. You think about music, you think about gold records, you think about that type of thing. And so when I thought about it, I was like, all right, Gold's perfect, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna call it Goldie Sound, man. So
there was a Goldie Sound before Florida. I remember him coming home. He was like, yo, you drive with me real quick? I wanna show you the spot. And he takes me there, and there's a whole punch code to get in, and I'm looking at the booth they created, and he's showing me like the pictures before there was any walls up. And I'm like, there's no one like this man,
Going back and forth between here and Atlanta, I met my wife, here in Tallahassee, and I had a kid. One of the things I did not want to do is repeat my childhood, right? So where I didn't have a dad and all that kind of stuff, I knew I needed to be in this child's life. So I ended up moving back. I worked at the Palmer Monroe Teen Center where they had a recording studio in there. And that's actually where I met Travis at.
And I remember they were looking for somebody to run that recording studio. And that's when AD came in. And and I was a supervisor over there at the time, so I just went in, introduced myself, talked to him, we were cool since then.
And I really wasn't fulfilled with what I was doing at the time. And we got a $5,000 tax return. One day, I just told my girl, what do you think if I took this money and put it in making a studio? She was like, go ahead. Like, if that's what you believe in, that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, right? So I did it, with that little 5,000, man, which I ran through really quick. I was recording everybody on my laptop. I had some monitors somebody had gave me. Then we moved over here after 2 years. Man, it really took off really fast, believe it or not. I started this with $5,000, and now I have a full staff, and this is a six-figure business.
He's able to cover and provide and do those things on something that could have been looked at as just a dream, or something that you didn't have to choose to continue that path in life when those discouraging things happen.
You have to understand mentally what that does to a person, to build your dream, tear it down, and build it again. How strong do you have to be to get through any of that emotionally? And I admire any man to, one, say what he's going to do and actually do it. And second, to just not give up.
To be creative, you want to be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to do what you're doing without judgment. Just come and have the freedom to say what you need to say, what you want to say, get off your chest. It's almost therapeutic. So when you come here, we like to create that environment for you.
The atmosphere at Goldie really does feel like family. When you come here multiple times, you get to know the interns, you get to know the producers. AD himself is a good friend, like a brother. It really just is a family and friendly vibe. What sets Goldie apart from the crowd is quality, professionalism, and just a place where you can come and really just feel comfortable and feel at home.
Because it's deeper than just recording to us. We look at the customer service part, and we care about your experience here. We don't just record and leave, you know what I'm saying? We care about what you're doing, follow up with what you're doing. Like I joke around, I say we like the Chick-fil-A recording studios. You know what I'm saying? It's our pleasure. When you come in, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel like a star, like you're already a celebrity. I don't care if it's your first day recording. We want to treat you like a Grammy Award winning artist.
Being friendly, being kind, those things matter. Relationships matter. But when you have a relationship with an expert, you got an expert, it makes a difference. A lot of studios might just have people that just trying to do it and fill it out. They're not gonna have the equipment. They're not gonna have the aesthetics, the lounge, the comfort. They're not gonna have the expert. They're not gonna have the team, you know what I mean? The accountability. That's a lot to offer, So what's gonna come from that is invaluable. In a certain mile radius, that's the studio, because he can get it pulled off.
There's not a huge music scene here in Tallahassee, right? And I felt like I had an opportunity to be able to help in trying to foster that for all of the artists who want to make it, but they feel like they can't make it out of Tallahassee. What we try to do in the music community, we hold an event actually, where we invite artists, producers, DJs, anybody that's in the music or aspiring to be in the music industry. It's a free event. We play all the artists' music throughout the night, or if you're a producer, we play your beats throughout the night. And it's like a networking thing. We do free food, free drinks. It's called In the Mix.
And so you always want to be reaching down and reaching up. And I'm just talking about age and experience, and that's just part of life, you know.
My next goal is to build this thing even better from the ground up. I'm talking about like a multi-million-dollar facility. I tell a lot of people that and they're like, what? But I'm like, yeah, you know, that's where my mind is. I believe we can do it. We're well on track to do it, honestly, within the next 5 years.